started this PCA main event final table with the hope of becoming a champion.
Oh my God.
Now only 4 remain. Who will win the trophy, the title, and all of the treasure? It's time to find out. Welcome to the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure from Paradise Island in the Bahamas. While there's a wealth of fun activities to be had here above water, it's the different things you can see below the water that make Atlantis so unique. Ah, the shark. The oceans are teeming with a wide variety of aquatic life, many which can be found here at Atlantis. But it is the shark that reigns supreme, as there is only one predator to be found at the top of the food chain. And today there's only one poker player who will come out on top because we're on the verge of crowning our main event champion. Over 1,500 players travelled here to test the waters and be a part of poker history. It was a staggering prize pool of almost $15 million, 2.2 of which will go to the winner. 5 grueling days of play to get down to the final table. We started with 8, but after some exciting play...
All in. I'm all in. I'm all in.
And the eliminations of Thomas Corral, Zach Goldberg, Olga Rubin and Ryan D'Angelo, we're now down to our final 4. Barry Shulman is the elder statesman here and has more final table experience than the other 4 players combined.
All in.
But will it be enough to give him the edge? He's currently our short stack with just over 3 million in chips.
I always try to have a game that reacts to the other people's game.
Benjamin Zamani, a 23-year-old online pro, still has a lot of work to do with just under 4.5 million chips. The 19-year-old Harrison Gimbel could become the youngest PCA main event champion ever. He has almost 14.5 million in chips.
I really have one goal in mind, and that's really to win. I want the $2,200,000.
And our current chip leader is 21-year-old Ty Ryman. He too has a chance to become the youngest PCA main event champion. He's currently in the lead with just under 23.5 million. Let's get to the table.
Gavin Griffin sits alongside me, James Hartigan, as 4 players compete for this trophy and first prize of $2.2 million. The oldest player at the table is this guy, Barry Shulman. Anxious to move up the leaderboard, he is the short man right now, being supported by his wife Alan and other members of the Shulman family. The rest of the crowd look on in anticipation. And those are the chips of our chip leader, Ty Ryman.
Where from, Ty?
Peoria, Illinois.
Peoria? Where's that?
Illinois, like Midwest. And out, you know where Champaign is?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's like an hour south, about a couple hours south of Chicago.
You go to school?
I tried like 3 years ago and I dropped out first semester.
Despite what Ty says, stay in school, kids.
And I think Barry was bluffing. He's never heard of Champagne.
I'm from the Chicago area, and most people that I know haven't heard of Champagne.
Ryman's going to be first to act. 160,000 is the size of the big blind. He's not going to call, he's going to raise. He makes it 360 to go. 360. It's ace-10 for Harrison Gimbel.
I think Barry was mistaken. I think he thought Ty said, "Do you drink champagne?"
Harrison's going to call.
In large quantities, I'd imagine.
He's looking to pop a few bottles after this final table. He'll have 2.2 million if he wins to do it with.
So heads up to the flop. Gimbel's ace-10, Ryman's ace-9.
Gimbel with the positional advantage and with the hand advantage. What a flop. The only way Ty gets any piece of this pot is if the case ace comes on the turn, then he gets to chop it.
Jack of spades. Ty checks.
The Gamble fires on the turn. Thinking, please call, please call.
Ty thinks his ace is best. Maybe he puts Gimble on a jack, maybe a flush draw. He certainly doesn't put him on tens full.
River's a jack of diamonds. Kyle check.
Ryman, having checked all three streets, has managed to ensure that he's not going to lose too much in this hand, but certainly he's going to pay that bet off.
Yeah, if he calls here, he's losing the minimum. Gimble with a nice size value bet there. I think it's just about the amount that Ty will pay off.
Ace 10.
Ace 10.
Ace of clubs.
Do you have the other 10?
Out an ace. Flop the vote.
Loving it. Loving it.
Nice hand.
Ryman still with the chip lead.
I probably could have gotten more chips out of that, probably.
Gamble now sitting on more than 16 million. And the blinds are up. We're now playing 100, 200,000 with a 20,000 ante.
Putting a bit more pressure on Barry Shulman with under 3 million.
He's folded under the gun. Zamani on the button. Folds the 7-8.
Leaving our two big stacks to clash again.
Battle of the blinds. Ty Ryman calling from the small with Jack 6. And with Ace 5. Gamble will check his option. Well, the flush draw for Ryman.
That flop gives Ty a lot of winning cards and a lot of winning combinations where he can bet and win this pot off of Gimble, who only has ace high at this point.
Harrison bets 200.
It's Gimble who bets. And Ryman just calls. In that spot, would you be tempted to check raise?
Yeah, I think it's a good spot to try to check raise, represent a 7.
And the ace on the turn gives Gimble a firm lead. Ryman checks again.
Gimble, having bet the flop, probably going to bet the turn here. He wants to get a little bit of value from a flush draw, wants to protect from a flush draw if Ty has that.
$500,000 into a pot of just under $1 million. And now Ryman counting out chips for a raise. He didn't do it on the flop. Looks like he is going to do it on the turn.
And see, now he's representing the 7. He check called the flop. Now he's check raising the turn. Looks a lot like a 7 to Gimble, I would think.
Call.
Gimble makes the call.
He stands firm. He's putting him on a flush draw, 5-6. Possibly even putting him on air.
Well, if he puts him on the flush draw, he'll see that just got there.
The flush got there, 5-6 got there. Harrison doesn't really beat much at this point. He can only beat a stone bluff.
Ryman makes it 1.85 million.
I call 11 ace.
And Gimble makes a very quick call.
Yeah, surprising call.
You got it.
As I said, every draw got there on the river. He really has to put Ty on exactly air to call.
Nice hand.
Say it like you mean it, Harrison. Ryman moves further in front.
All day long.
Very proud of you. Yeah. Yeah. Get some cards and they don't have a shot, honey.
I think he knows that.
Well, his eye is very good.
And he has got a lot of chips. But you can't discount the Barrylicious Mr. Shulman. Although obviously you have to make Ty Ryman favourite right now.
Welcome back to Atlantis here on Paradise Island. While there are many attractions both outside and in, the big one remains the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure main event, where 4 players still hope to be the last one standing. So, let's get back to the action.
Well, there's the trophy that these 4 players are hoping to take home tonight, along with $2.2 million. That's what first place pays. Let's have a look at where they currently stand in chips. Ty Ryman way out in front with 26 million, more than a 2-to-1 chip lead over Harrison Gimbel. Shulman brings up the rear with just shy of 3 million. The blinds at 100 and 200,000. It's kind of shoving time for Barry.
Barry's in that short stack danger zone. He's got about 15 big blinds. I expect to see him pick a hand and go with it pretty soon.
It'll be Zamani who opens this one with a min raise to 400,000. And small blind, Gimbel has 8s.
How much are you playing?
5.2.
I'm all in.
Meaning I'll put you all in.
He's trying to leverage Barry's short stack against Ben.
This is pretty close.
Actions back to Ben.
This is pretty close.
I think Zamani could find a fold here.
It's actually like 55 more. You still feel as good? Gonna regret this one either way. I call.
And puts himself at risk.
Pocket 8s.
Ben's going to call.
What?
Hold you calling.
A lot of excitement on the rail as they see it to race.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Good luck.
Harrison hasn't covered. Harrison has a pair of 8s.
And you're gonna fold an ace or a 10.
Ben has an ace of hearts, 10 and 9.
All is out to live.
Harrison has an
Ace or a 10.
Good luck to both of you.
You say you had like 5-5?
What?
You have like 5-5?
Send it over.
Are you that confident?
Wow.
Man.
That's pretty strong.
All right. But I have to remember that I don't lose flips. Like, I have to get in that mindset right now.
And we can have the flop, please.
Let's go, Ben.
Oh, he doesn't lose flips, does he? A set of 8s on the flop.
Hearts, 8 of
The 8 of spades right in the door.
3 8s for Harrison.
Good flop for you. Good flop for you.
I don't want a 7-9. That'd be brutal.
Definitely hitting too. So sick. Definitely an ace coming.
Turns a 7 of clubs.
Had to be a sweat.
To be a sweat.
I know.
Zamani wins with a 9, chops with a 4.
What a turn card. It's never easy.
Can he hit on the river? 14% chance. It doesn't come in, and Zamani's out in 4th.
All right, let's get Ben if you can.
$1 million he'll get paid.
From 1,529 players to finish 4th. Right now he's probably a little disappointed, but if you asked him if he'd finish 4th at the beginning of the tournament, he'd be happy.
It's Zamani's elimination. We are down to just 3 players.
What a turn card. It's never easy.
And of course, if 19-year-old Harrison Gimbel were to go on and win, he'd be the youngest ever winner of the PCA main event.
How much time do we have?
I just turned 19 a few months ago. I would be the youngest ever PCA main event champion. After watching Chris Moneymaker win the World Series of Poker main event, I just became hooked. I followed my brother to a friend's house for like a $5 home game, and he would always let me tag along, even though I was a lot younger than most of the people there. mean, that's how I started. I still have a lot to learn. I have a lot of time ahead of me, and I think I can become one of the best. This is my first real tournament where like 10K was the buy-in. I guess I'm kind of starstruck a little bit. I've been kind of made fun of every once in a while because I look around and I'd be like, that's so-and-so. And someone next to me would be like, yeah, what's the big deal? If I win this, I think that's a big deal in itself, to say that young people can win it too, even though they haven't had as much experience as some of the older people. It's great making the final table, but my goal is to win. I have the motivation to take this tournament down, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, before the tournament, Harrison told his friend that if he had a decent cash, he would buy a car. He's guaranteed more than $1 million. What could he get for that?
He can get at least like a Honda Civic.
He'll also get that trophy. It's a three-handed play.
All right, Harrison has the button.
Gimbal
25.
on the button, he will fold. Shulman picks up ace-4 in the small blind, and he's going to shove it.
Moves it all in for just over 10 big blinds.
I call.
And looking down at Jack King, Ty Ryman will make the call.
Three-handed, shallow chips, and these two hands play themselves.
Very good. Double up. Very good, Barry. Ace ball.
How much is the total?
I think this is 2. 2565. Hey, it's not over yet.
I know.
Oh, calm down. What a drink.
Believe me, it's far from over.
I mean, the hand's not even over. It ain't even started. Here we go, Ty.
Well, it's almost 50-50.
Let's have a flop, please.
Flush draw for Ryman.
Now with his 2 overcards, flush draw, Ty's a slight favorite.
No problem. No problem. Ace ball.
Will you take the ace of spades?
Turns a 4 of hearts.
Doesn't really change anything. Not King Jack or spade. Barry Shulman doubles up.
Barry doubles up to just over 5 million. Ty still in a commanding chip lead with 23 million.
Nice hand. What a fade.
You almost have me convinced.
Seem to make it pretty deep a lot.
Barry doesn't want to engage in
Top 3 finish, not bad.
Another day in the life of Barry, huh?
I'm through farting around now. I had to wait for him to go broke.
Yeah.
He speaks. Shulman has doubled up to 23 big blinds, still pretty short. Look how deep Ty Ryman and Harrison Gimbal are, 122 and 82 big blinds respectively. Shulman will be on the button first to speak.
And even though he doubled up, he still only has about 23 big blinds, so he's going to need to find a hand again to get into contention.
That is not the hand he's willing to make a move with. Which leaves us with small blind versus big blind. Ryman limping from the small. And Gimbal checking the big with queen 7.
This is the second time we've seen Ty limp from the small blind. Looks like he doesn't want to play a huge pot out of position against Gimbal.
Well, both players flop an up and down straight draw, but crucially, Ryman has the 9 in his hand, so if an 8 comes, that could spell trouble for Harrison Gimbal.
Yeah, an 8's going to look like a good card to Gimbal. It's going to be an absolute disaster card if it hits.
So a bet from Gimbal, the call from Ryman. And 4 on the turn changes nothing. Queen high still leads.
Harrison checks.
River for free. And it's the 8. Oh, this is a horrible situation for Gimbal.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough spot, especially if Ryman checks. If Ryman checks, Gimbal's going to bet, and Ryman will be able to get the check raise in. But in this case, when Ty bets out, Gimbal will just call and it'll limit the damage. If you notice, a flush draw got there, the board's paired.
I was straight.
Who's going to call?
Is that straight too?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh, wow. Nice hand.
Thanks.
Who's got the straight?
I think it's a case of, I'm glad the 8 got
Thank
there,
you.
but I wish it wasn't the 8 of clubs. Still, any pot 1 is a good pot. And Ty Ryman, still a big chip leader. He's been a big stack ever since his queens cracked John Duthie's aces on the penultimate day.
I believe in positive thinking. A lot of positive thinking makes positive things happen. We were 6-handed. Ryan D'Angelo was raising quite often. And I flatted the button, trying to induce a squeeze. And John Duthie did make it 540,000. I didn't know he had aces. So I shoved on him. I'm all in. Cool. And he just quickly called my pocket queens. 5-handed, it's really tough to lay those queens down. They had count each one of our chip stacks to a precise counter. And I kind of just felt like it was coming. I've been in this situation so many times, you know, where it comes down to a coin flip. I'm sitting there thinking, oh no, I'm done. And I probably would have been done, I think. The queen came and somehow had 10 million.
Wow.
Didn't want to show any emotion once the hand was over. Parents always taught me to be real humble. Inside, I was feeling real good. Maybe I'll show some emotion once I win.
He's got a string of great online results, and of course he cashed in last year's PCA main event. And here he is in the final 3, competing for that trophy and the $2.2 million first prize.
Here he finished 132nd. He's guaranteed a much better finish this year.
He continues to pick up some nice hands. Ace-Jack on the button makes it 420,000.
That's 420,000.
Yeah, Ty keeps coming up with big hands in what looks like steal positions. And people are going to pay him off for large amounts when he has these hands.
Call. Shulman is going to make the call. What do you think about that play, Gavin, as opposed to shoving?
I like a shove here with 25 big blinds. Jack 10 suited plays well against Ty's range. And he doesn't really have enough chips to justify playing after the flop.
Certainly not going to play after the flop now. Completely missed. And there's an ace out there.
This is such a great flop for Ty because this is a flop that he's going to bet 100% of the time. It just so happens that he has the ace-jack. He's got a really strong hand here.
That's 540,000.
Somewhat, Barry might go crazy here.
Oh no, he's going to try and make a move against Ryman.
And this is a good flop for him to do that on because Ty's going to bet the ace-9-6 flop 100% of the time. He just gets unlucky that Ty has the ace.
Bad timing by Shulman.
Ty thinking it over, trying to decide if he should just call, let Barry bluff the turn, or if he should just put it in here.
I'm all in.
Shoves on Shulman. And Barry is forced to muck his hand, and after that, he is going to be crippled.
Doesn't give Barry the opportunity to bluff the turn.
Ty went all in, and Barry had to fold.
Instead, he's going to hope to get the chips at a later time.
Ryman's chip lead continues to build, nearly 28 million in chips. And Shulman Down to just 2.76 million.
There's plenty to do at Atlantis on Paradise Island, but one of the most unique and exciting things is swimming with the dolphins here at Dolphin Cay. These three PokerStars team pros, Humberto Brenes, Chris Moneymaker and Maria Mainrink, recently put on wetsuits and took part in a once-in-a-lifetime experience where they got up close and personal with a new friend. She performed a variety of acrobatic feats, splashed around with the shark, and showcased some of her other talents. After a high-flying grand finale, our Poker Pros Day came to an end, and it was time to wave goodbye.
I am so doing that next year.
Yeah, I haven't had much luck with the poker in the Bahamas, but at Atlantis, the dolphin trip is probably the best thing to do there.
Meanwhile, back inside the casino, Barry Shulman is now nursing a very short stack.
Problem, honey, patience.
Yeah, good, Barry. There'll be better opportunities.
Okay, I promise that wasn't one of them.
Yeah, that's why I told it. And I believe. I'm a believer. I love your play. Just love it.
Harrison of the blinds.
Ty doesn't return the compliment. So blind still 100 and 200,000. Action on Ty Ryman. Still with that ridiculous stack of chips in front of him. Keep thinking they're going to fall over any second.
I can never decide if I want to stack my chips like 20 high or get them up to where they're like 50 high and they're either in danger of falling over at any moment.
Oh, to be in a situation where you have to worry about those things. I know Barry would like to be in that spot. He re-raises all in.
Chip count, please.
Well, and Ty's trying to get an idea of how much more it is. He's a little bit worried that Barry might have him dominated, but most of the time he's in a coin flip here.
And he'll make the call with the best hand. But Barry not that far behind, a 6-4 shot.
Good luck, Barry.
I thought I might have you dominated with a king.
Well, kings and queens are good for Barry Shulman.
You know, I always wonder how much people mean it when they tell the other player when they're all in, good luck.
They don't. A king on the flop puts Barry in front.
The Shulman supporter's happy with that flop. Ty flops at 10, so that gives him an extra couple outs. He could hit a 10 or an ace.
Turns an 8 of spades.
He needs to hit it on the river to eliminate Barry Shulman. Is Barry going to double up yet again?
Ace 10! Do it, dealer! Have the East card. Parlay the 10. Yeah!
Barry's hand holds up after the flop, and he will double up again.
Barry survives yet another all-in. Ty and Harrison must be getting frustrated.
Yeah, that must be his 80th double up of the day.
Seems like it.
Nice in.
Remember, this tournament began with 1,529 players, creating a prize pool of nearly $15 million, and $2.2 million will go to the winner. $1.75 million for the runner-up, the next player out, $1.35 million. So the difference between third and second, $400,000. And I guess Barry's best hope here is that some big clash develops between Harrison Gimbel and Ty Ryman, and that somehow he manages to creep into second place and gets heads up.
Yeah, Barry's either looking for a couple of double ups or some ridiculous cooler between Ty and Harrison. They're going to be avoiding that as much as they can. They realize the difference between third and second. $400,000, a great little addition to the amount that they already have.
Barry is going to open shove here with Queen 10 from the button.
A bigger shove than we're used to seeing Barry make. It's 20 times the big blind shove. He's one of the old school guys that tends to with a 20 big blind stack, make an open raise and give himself a chance to fold.
4 million-ish. I call.
Calls with the ace-9.
Good luck.
And yeah, Gimbal, one of the young guns, he realizes that a 20 big blind shove doesn't necessarily mean it's a big hand. Calls with the ace-9, and he's ahead.
Bugbear.
Just basically a coin flip here.
So Barry's tournament life is on the line yet again, and he will need to see a queen or a 10 or some kind of straight or backdoor flush possibility. And that is not a good flop for him.
Barry seems to have had 9 lives here, but he seems down to his last one, looking for a queen or a 10 to survive.
We need a queen or a 10.
You said it, Alan.
Turns a jack.
Same outs needed on the river. Or we go heads up, and Barry leaves us in 3rd place.
Queen. Queen ball.
And we need the river, please.
Queen or a 10 for Shulman. It doesn't come, he's gone. We get heads up. It'll be Gimbal versus Ryman for the trophy. And Barry Shulman will collect $1.35 million for his 3rd place finish, an incredible result after his win at the World Series of Poker Europe last autumn.
Yeah, obviously a great few months for Barry. 1st place in the World Series of Poker Europe, 3rd place here. We'll be a little bit disappointed, but it's a heck of a showing.
And we're at the business end of the tournament. These two guys are going heads up for the title.
Barry, you were so close to the title, you can almost smell it. You started 3rd in chips and you came 3rd. Are you satisfied or disappointed?
Oh, I'm pretty disappointed, but I never liked not winning. I had absolutely no chips today, so I had to just hang around and wait for people to knock themselves out, and it's just the way it goes.
Have you liked being the elder statesman at the table?
Oh, it's fun playing with kids, and I like hanging around kids, and I like kids, and they were good guys, and it was enjoyable.
Do you find it easier because you've got so many years' experience?
Well, I thought I had a lot of advantage in that I've played a lot more poker, and I've certainly been to a lot more final tables than probably all of them put together.
Well, congratulations on 3rd. 1.35 million, pretty nice.
Yes, that's nice. That'll help put my kids through college and their kids.
Well, congratulations, 3rd. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So that trophy doesn't have Barry Shulman's name on it, but who will lift it at the end of play today?
Youth has prevailed here at the PCA main event as our 2 heads-up competitors each have a chance to win $2.2 million and become the youngest to ever take down this title. 19-year-old Harrison Gimbal is confident of a comeback,
I'm guaranteeing victory here.
while 21-year-old Ty Ryman is expecting the unexpected.
Anything can happen at any given time.
2 men, 1 chance of making history.
And considering they've been playing for several long days, Gavin, it's amazing they can remain so focused and be playing so well.
Yeah, one of the advantages of youth, they've got all that energy to play for these long days and so many consecutive days.
Gimbal!
So far,
Let's go, Ty!
Ryman and Gimbal seem to have shared a railing crew. It's time for these guys to pick a side.
Yeah, we're going to have a dividing line. It's a little civil war of the online world right here.
First hand, a heads-up play sees Ty Ryman pick up deuce-3 of clubs on the button. Raising from the small blind, makes it 525,000. Gimbal makes the call with the better deuce, the deuce-4. Monsters!
As we often see, a lot more hands are playable heads up than at a full table.
Clubs, 8 of spades, ace of
Both
clubs,
flop a
deuce of
deuce.
diamonds.
Ty with the backdoor flush draw, that's why he's got the bigger chance to win the whole pot.
Check and check. Deuce of spades.
Well, now they've both made trips.
600,000 from
This
Harrison.
pot is going to get massive, and they're going to chop it.
Yeah, neither one can win the pot at this point.
Ty raises to 1,600,000.
Ty raises the turn. He thinks he's got the best hand.
Re-raise. Should be 3 million total.
Harrison with another re-raise.
3 million total. A total bet.
Looking to get value out of maybe an ace that Ty checked on the flop. Protect against a flush draw. Ty can certainly be raising with a flush draw on the turn here.
Ty makes the call.
And I'd be very surprised if we didn't see the rest of the money go in on the
See
river.
the river. 7 of spades. Harrison's first.
About 8 million in the pot. They both still have a lot of chips behind.
Come on.
Gimbal shoves.
Gimbal shoves for 12 million, 150% of the pot. Ty's in a tough spot here. The flush draws come in. He doesn't really beat any deuces, especially if Gimbal has like king deuce or queen deuce.
Total count, please.
Ty's asked for a count.
10, 12.
He's essentially putting Harrison on an ace, which I don't think he'd play this way, or a chop. Really tough spot for Ty.
I call.
Well, he has called.
Deuce 4 for 3 deuces.
We chop? We
Deuce
chop?
3 for 3 deuces. They're going to chop it.
Yeah, they're playing the same hand. Ace 8 on board.
Chops all day.
So many big chops,
So many huge. I like this guy. So boring.
Everyone can take their seats again.
That was sick.
Damn, I thought you had like ace somewhere. You're like,
The only thing I was worried about was backdoor spades.
yeah.
Like ace 4 spades, you know?
Nice hand though.
Yeah.
Nice call.
So the battle between Gimbal and Ryman continues as we take a look at previous heads-up matches at the PCA. Last year, Puriya Nazari got the better of Tony Gregg, and in 2008 it was the Frenchman Elke who defeated Hafa Khan. The first year of this event, Gus Hansen took down Hoyt Corkins.
Some big names on that list. Gus Hansen, Elke, Steve Paul. A lot of big names have made their way from this tournament.
Gimbal's on the button this time, ace 5. Blinds are up, by the way, 120 and 240,000 now.
600,000 from Harrison.
Harrison raising with a small ace, a pretty decent hand heads up. There's a really nice hand heads up, Ty with the 2 10s. Not choosing the slow play, he re-raises.
No more.
1,075,000 chip raise. Harrison calls. Deuce of diamonds, ace of clubs,
Gimbal
8 of
pairs
hearts.
his ace.
Tough flop for Ryman. There's an ace, but there's not much else out there that beats him.
Check. And check.
They both check the flop.
7 of spades.
Gimbal checks for a little bit deception, a little bit pot control, hoping to get value from Ty later in the hand.
Check.
Ryman checks again. And this time, Harrison Gimbal is going to bet 2.2 million.
Harrison.
Ty has to decide whether Harrison can bet without an ace here, and he certainly can. He can bet 9-10. He could be betting with king, queen, trying to get Ty to fold 2 9s or 2 10s.
Call.
Gonna be really tough as long as the river's a blank for Ty to get away from this hand.
Nearly 8 million in the middle.
3 of
And it's a
spades.
blank on the river.
Ty certainly knows that Harrison is capable of betting 2 streets without the best hand here.
Ty Ryman checks for the 3rd time. And Gimbal is going to make a sizable bet on the river.
4,700,000.
This is the advantage of betting your sort of weakish hands on the river. You give yourself a chance to get value when you have big hands. Ty knows that Gimbal could be bluffing. He could be betting an 8 for value. So he has to call here in order to keep Gimbal honest.
Call.
He makes the call, and
Ace
Gimbal
five
shows the
for
ace.
Aces with an
And
8,
Ty
7,
marks.
5. Ty tosses it away. Harrison's going to take this spot.
It was 4-7.
And that was such a huge hand, Gavin, because Ty Ryman has had the chip lead at this final table pretty much all day. He's now in second spot with 19 million. Gimbal has now taken the chip lead and is sitting there with a stack of nearly 26.5 million.
Yeah, Ty finally running into some adversity at the final table. Harrison with a bit of good fortune, he takes a big chip lead.
Welcome back to the fabulous Atlantis, where over 1,500 players came to test the waters in the PCA main event. It's been 5 explosive days of poker full of highs and lows.
What are you doing?
And the fireworks continued heads up when these two young guns took center stage.
That's sick.
While you were gone, the action continued and the play was intense, but Harrison refused to relinquish the chip lead. One of these two players will make poker history tonight. The time is near. A champion will soon be crowned.
And it's no exaggeration, Gavin, to say that the winner will make poker history. I mean, this is one of the key events in the poker calendar now.
Huge event of the year. Also, the winner becomes the youngest. This is really a huge moment of the poker year.
See Ryman raising the button here. Remember, he's now lost the chip lead, which he's held for most of this final table. Gimbal defending his big blind, out of position with ace-4.
5 of diamonds, 6 of hearts, 4 of hearts.
Tyler Ryman flops a straight. Gimbal with bottom pair and the backdoor flush draw.
Gimbal certainly with enough hand to play for one street. Ty obviously flopped the nuts, and he's got to be happy right now.
630,000 from Ty. Call from Harrison. Ten of clubs.
Well, that seals the deal. The flush draw can't get there. Ty Ryman cannot lose.
Ty's going to fire up a nice big bet here. He wants to protect from a flush draw, get value from maybe 2 pair hands that Harrison's slow playing.
1,700,000, 800,000 from Ty.
It's going to be tough for Harrison to call here.
Call.
There's some chance he thinks his hand's good. He might also, since he has the ace of hearts,
River's the 7 of
be
hearts.
attempting to bluff a river heart.
Well, it is a heart on the river.
Check.
He checks. I guess he thinks that maybe Ty might have made a straight, and it's going to be hard to bluff him off of it.
4.2 million from Ty.
So has Gimbal gone into check fold mode here?
Small one.
No,
All
he
in,
is going
raise
to
from
make a
Harrison.
huge bluff and represent the flush.
7 of hearts is a tough card to represent here because you would think that in order to call the turn, he needs a straight draw or a pair to go with his flush draw. So the 7 of hearts would be a key card to having a straight draw. So would the 8 of hearts, and Ty has that in his hand. So we're trying to decide if Ty can think, oh, could he have the ace king of hearts, the ace queen of hearts, the 10-9 of hearts, ace 5 of hearts. Really tough spot here.
I think he's folded.
Fold or call?
He's folded. Wow.
He folded 7-8.
What a move
Showing
by
any
Gimbal.
nice straights. Harrison's
He thought
ace
about
five.
showing it too, if you saw that.
And thinks
Wow.
better of it.
Great play by Harrison. Tough spot for Ty Ryman. And the crowd can't believe what just happened.
I look like an idiot if you check shove there with this same straight, but nice hand.
Thank you.
Wasn't the same hand, it was a worse hand. The bluff got through, the power of having the chip lead, and now he has a huge chip lead over Ty Ryman after that hand. I'm starting to wonder, Gavin, what kind of effect those last two hands have had on Ty Ryman. What is his state of mind right now?
You know, there's a lot of pressure right here. They're heads up for a $500,000 difference between first and second. Playing for a lot of money, a lot of prestige, and two hands like that can really get into your head.
Well, here he's picked up eights, and he's raised the button. And Gimbel's got tens.
Gimbel's got tens, the fifth best starting hand in Hold'em. Heads up, these two hands, it's tough to believe that they don't get all the money in. Especially with Ty being frustrated from the last couple of hands.
There's the re-raise from Gimbel.
I'm all in.
And the shove from Ryman.
Re-raise from Ty.
I'm probably calling, but can I get a count?
All in for 12 million total.
250.
I call.
Good luck. I got eights.
Tens for
And he
Harrison,
sees the bad
ties
news
for
that
Ty.
Gimbel has an overpair and that he's 4-1 against, and we are on the verge of having a champion at the 2010 PCA.
Let's go, 8! Let's go, Ty!
Dueling rails here. Some calling for 10, some calling for 8s. They've chosen their side.
Again, 8 of diamonds, 8 of clubs.
Give me the one time! 8!
That guy really wants an 8. But instead it's the 10 that gets there. A set of 10s for Gimbel, and it's virtually over.
Ty needs running 8s, running diamonds, or running straight to win this pot.
This could all be over on the turn.
All right, let's see the turn card.
But it's an 8.
8 of hearts.
So now Ryman is drawing to 1 out.
We have a set of 10s against a set of 8s.
This is normally where I ask someone if they folded an 8.
Huh. You can have a sense of humor when you're 98% favorite to win this tournament.
Give me the one time! 8! Let's go, Ty! 8! Let's go, 8!
This is the true one time right here. 1 out, 1 time.
The jack is a blank. Gimbel's done it. He is the champion of the 2010 PCA.
You got to feel for Ty. A tough final few hands.
What did you have on that text?
I had 8-4.
8-4?
Yeah.
Ty's going to be walking away with
That's brutal.
$1,750,000.
So Harrison Gimbel becomes the youngest ever player to win this tournament, and he will collect $2.2 million.
8 players began this fast and furious final table. Ryan D'Angelo came to the table as the chip leader, but was ultimately sent packing in 5th.
That's the sick. Oh my God.
Barry Shulman, last year's WSOP Europe champion, was denied another historic marquee title here at the PCA as he was knocked out in 3rd. After a hard-fought battle, Harrison Gimbel emerged from the fray triumphant and is now $2.2 million richer.
Harrison, how does it feel to be a winner?
Like, this is what I dreamt of. I always wanted to win a big major tournament, and luckily I accomplished it on one of my first ones.
Congratulations to Harrison Gimbel, the 2010 PCA main event champion. For James Hartigan, Gavin Griffin and myself, Michelle Orr, thanks for watching the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure.